In regard to smushy, we have our hands and they are free. They come with advantages and disadvantages. One of the main advantages is that it's really good surface area for getting a nice level of uniform smudge. These fingers are pretty good too for the more detailed stuff. It's a good idea generally to avoid these. The reason being, we've got quite a bit more grease in here, and if you really kind of go for it like that, versus, I'll just do that with that finger, and then I shall introduce this boy in a second. Okay, that area, if I try and erase the stuff off that, will probably be a little bit yellow. So, I don't know if you can see this. So that was the one I did with this finger. So I can't get back to the white paper there. So that's one reason to not do it. The other thing is with time, that patch is going to go a bit yellower, which is not ideal. Not ideal. Okay, and with that, I wanted to go straight onto erasers. Naughty, because I have yet to introduce Stumpies and Tortillions. Stumpies and Tortillions. Where's my? Oh yeah, sandpaper. Right. Stumpies and Tortillions. So the Stumpies are, well, they're both made out of rolled up paper, and you can actually see some of the roll ups. You see this kind of in a toilet roll vibe with the Tortillion. The Stumpies feel like they're made out of something a bit more blotting paper, so they feel much more kind of suede-y, and they're also double-ended. That's not actually massively important, but it's quite nice, a way of recognising the difference. The Tortillion is made out of harder paper and is a firmer side, and it doesn't feel like suede, and it's very good for putting in really detailed lines. They're doing roughly the same, but there's a certain hardness to this that is harder to achieve on the Stumpy. So there's a couple of reasons why I really love Stumpies. Number one, great smushing tool and doesn't have the oil in. Number two is when you have your Stumpy good and dirty, here's one I prepared earlier, you can use it to draw with, and those lines are actually quite subtle, unlike if I went in and did that. So these guys are more erasable than these guys. I'll do a bit of manual zoom so you can see. Oh, it's not really coming up. Yeah, can you see that? So that was done with the pencil, and that was done with the dirty Stumpy. That's a bit too subtle, isn't it? Trust me, there's something there in both cases, but there's more there with the pencil. So Stumpies are a great tool for blending and picking up pigment and then moving it around. And so you can use it instead of a pencil before you want to commit. So same is true with the Tortillions. I tend to find because it's harder, it kind of distorts the paper well, at the pressure I like to use things, it distorts the paper sooner, so I actually find it harder to get rid of a Tertullian line than a Stumpy line. So Tertullian has left a line. Stumpy, which I did really commit to, has left a line, but it's not as harsh. So, and that is my cue to introduce you to erasers. So you'll need something to erase with. There's two main kinds that I use. Vinyl and kneadable. So the vinyl eraser is like the one that you have at the end of your pencil or the one you had at school. So vinyl eraser is really good for getting back to white paper, but leaves these things on the paper that we call pills. So like when your jumper kind of ends up with roll-up bits and you have to then wipe that off. Which is fine for graphite, but much more of an issue if you're doing charcoal. You'll have to blow it off gently with summer breezes. You may have noticed already I have been using this thing. This is merely a vinyl eraser, but it happens to be battery powered. And the nice thing about that is you can pretty much get some really discrete marks and back to white. So I'm just going to put a little bit more stuff down. It's worth knowing that once you've really committed, if I really commit with that, even my electric eraser isn't getting it back to white. It'll do a pretty good job, but I'll tell you what, I'll do that on the edge and you'll see that's not, tell you what, do it a bit more stronger. There's a little bit of an edge on there, so oh. And the next thing to note is the kneadable eraser. Kneadable eraser is comes in pack, looks like blue tack. Do not use the whole thing in one go. Pinch a bit off, keep that bit stayed off, because it's going to get graphite in it, and there's going to come a point when it's so dirty it puts down graphite rather than picks it up. And your job with this is just to lift a little bit, and you can lighten areas and get nearly back to white, but it leaves no pills, and you can do some precision work. And one of the things I like to do, and maybe the best use of a Tertullian, is to get a little bit of a kneadable eraser, stick it on there, and then draw with it.